First of all, your dress. I keep talking about your dress, but
And
it's
you know,
amazing.
I keep talking about your dress. We both came in like your dress, like that Spider-Man meme. It's you.
Yes, we're definitely feeling it. I told her my best friend picked mine out. She was telling me about her dress. Like, we're just gonna have to swap after this is over.
I'm here for that.
Okay. Now, before we hop into some questions, I always like to do an icebreaker with my guests.
Yes.
So I want to do a little game. Is that okay with y'all?
I love
Is that okay,
that.
Miss Keke?
Yeah, that's so fun, yes.
Okay. So we're gonna play a game of pass or play, Keke Palmer edition. Okay? So based on your past roles, I'm going to ask you whether you would play the role again or if you would pass.
Okay.
And if you pass, I want you to share what you would change about that specific role.
Okay, this is good. I'm ready.
Are we ready? All right.
Oh.
True Jackson VP.
Honey, I loved being the VP. I would play. I would do it again. I would love to see what she would be like now. Like, will we be taking like a Frasier type approach, a Mary Tyler Moore? Like, what is the office like in this time? So I'm here for it. I'm here to be true again.
I'm here for y'all.
She better own the company now.
Yes. Come on.
She's been working there since she was 15. You need to own it.
Beloved was working hard. She was working hard.
Okay.
All right. This is where America fell in love with you, though.
Oh.
Miss Akilah and the Big. How we feeling? We going
So look, if I did do it again, it would have to be different. Like, I'm thinking like she would have to be the Dr. Larrabee now, right?
Okay.
She would have to have a group of young kids that she's teaching how to spell. Yes. And she's taking all of them to the National Spelling Bee. A little Akilah and the Bee mixed with Remember the Titans or something, you know what I mean? We going. I'm here for that.
I'm here for that too. Okay. What about this one though? Mercedes
Now, wait a minute.
and Hustlers.
Mercedes, we not going back to the strip club, mama. You know, we got to pass on that. She got to be moving on up. You know what I mean?
Okay. So she's moving on up.
Yes, yes.
She's been delivered. Okay. All right.
She's been delivered.
Zayday from Scream Queens. I love this show.
Yes, this was a good. I would do it again. I would play this again. Where's the show going? I would be so curious to know. Because we jumped from the first season to the second season, so I would want to know what are we talking about in the third season? What is the satirical element? What's the commentary? But it was a very fun show, so I would play for sure again. Yeah,
we would love this. We would love this. And how about Alice?
I loved Alice. So I got to see what the storyline is. You know, I'm ready for her to keep whooping some more behind.
Okay.
Because at the end, how we left off in that movie, she done burnt the house down.
Yes.
It was very Pam Grier. So I'm ready for her to take it elsewhere, to burn some more houses down. So let's play.
Come on, we're going to play
I'm here for it. Justice. Okay, well,
Wednesday in Pimp.
I don't want to spoil it, but Mama at the end, so I can't play. She coming back? She's a ghost.
Is there anything you would change about her story?
What I would change about her story? You know what? No, because it's a story that needs to be told. Her story is valid. It was definitely heavy. She went through some hard stuff, but she learned valuable lessons, and she learned a very valuable lesson in the end. So, you know, I feel like, you know, hey, we got to tell every story.
Yeah.
Every story deserves to be told.
She had a well-rounded story. I love that
really
for her.
did.
Yeah, you played that role.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Did y'all like the game?
I love the game. It was very fun.
Awesome. So we're going to hop into some career-related questions. Are y'all ready? So, Miss Keke, you've been in the game since childhood. Like, you've been on our screens for decades. When did you realize that you wanted to be in the entertainment industry?
Well, you know what? I thought, go, I love that. You know what? I thought, I don't know if I knew the entertainment industry, but I knew I wanted to be in entertainment or be a performer as young as 5, watching my mom sing in church. I really loved watching how the audience responded to her when she would sing. You know, they would just be so elated, and people would come up to her after church and say, I really needed that. Or, Sharon, you sang that song today. And I was like, oh my gosh, whatever that is that's happening, I want to make people feel like that too. And so that's when I knew that I wanted to be a performer for sure.
Absolutely. I'm here for that. Did y'all love that answer? I feel like I know I met Miss Sharon backstage, but I feel like I knew her already because, like, you know, she's there with you.
She is. Yeah. She's there. You know, and even as I've continued to grow and my story as an entertainer has continued to open up, people have gotten to know how I am able to be and do the things that I'm doing, and it's because of my mom and my dad, my family.
Yeah, yeah. You come from a musical family, right?
Yes, yes. Both of my parents were artists, so they met at speech tournaments in high school. Excuse me, yeah, in high school. And so they went to a speech tournament in New Orleans. My mom won, and my dad saw her sing, and he was like, "I've got to get that girl." Okay, it was like Michael Jackson in that video. And he had pursued her and pursued her and pursued her. Long story short, they got married. And they still did a little bit of theater, but as you guys know, life's. And so following their dreams didn't really seem like something that was possible or attainable in everyday life. And so eventually when they had kids and everything, they would talk to us about that world that they fell in love in and how they, what their dreams were and all that kind of stuff. And we always wanted to find a way to be a part of that. And so when I was 9, they had read in the newspaper about Lion King auditions. And they were like, remember that thing we were telling you about with the acting and how we did theater and everything? Would you be interested in doing something like that? And I was like, yeah, I would love to do that. It'd be so cool. And so they took me down. And I auditioned for Nala and the Lion King. And I made it down to like 100. I don't know. I didn't get that far, but I made some progress. And then they asked me, are you sad? And I'm like, yeah, I'm a little sad. And they're like, but would you want to do it again? I was like, yeah. And that's how it began in terms of it being this career for me.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay. And so, Keke, when we see you on the screen, a lot of us see ourselves in you.
That's amazing. That's what it's about, because I am you and you are me. We the same. Yeah, for sure.
For sure, for sure. So this next question is specifically for the sisters. Do I have any sisters in the room? Okay. This is for us. So, Keke, sometimes when people get to a certain level of status or celebrity, people think like, oh, they don't go through anything. I'm wondering, how do you navigate the isms that Black women experience, like racism and colorism and texturism in Hollywood?
It's really hard because everybody deals with it differently, and we all deal with it in our daily life. I do feel like, without totally being dismissive of what I'm experiencing, because I do discuss it with family and friends and the people that matter to me in my life, I also have to have a certain objectivity about the fact that these people don't care about me, So what good does it do to put what you think and feel about me on a personal level and in the center of my life? So I think at a certain age, I shut it off. And it just no longer mattered to me why somebody felt a way or did something, or did they say, I can't go through my day picking up all your microaggressions and tallying them up on a list. Because then I'm not following, then I'm not thinking about what I gotta do. And so that's how I kind of do it. Now, if a situation gets far, then yeah, you know what to do. You know what to do. But I don't know why I went to Rick James just then. Oh my gosh. But yeah, you know what to do when it's time to say something or do something. You know what that feels like. But you do got to be careful about the way you spread your energy out. You don't want to spread yourself thin, because there's a Toni Morrison quote about that, where the real function of racism is to distract you. That's the greatest function of it. So, I try my best to navigate in that regard and stay focused on what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, it is a major distraction, and sometimes it can cause us to feel like we want to conform. How do you battle that? Like, being who you are in these spaces?
Well, conformity, or, as we talk about it, there's another word for it, assimilation. Yes. A lot of those things are also forms of language, right? It's the way if I go into this corporate office, how can I make sure they know? I'm not going to say, what's good? I'm going to say, hi, sir. Glad to be here. It's like balancing the language of different spaces, but also remaining the true of who you are and bringing your culture to the table. It is absolutely a task. And it's something that my mom was also a teacher. And when I got into the industry, she said, Keke, you can be articulate. You can make sure that, you're using words that can help people understand what you're saying, but also show yourself. Show who you are. Let people know where you're coming from, so that one thing that you just said a few minutes ago is that when people see me, they see themselves in me. That's a part of that. You don't want to get to that position and then the very people that you're speaking to, they're like, I don't recognize you. You want them to know, oh, she's me. When you say, and the gag is, you know what I mean? You want them to know, she my girl, she's my, And so my mom spoke to me about that stuff, about that balance. But it is a balance. In every space you go in when you're trying to get your point across, it is like having an arsenal of all this different language, but making sure that you're authentically being you and knowing that that's what makes you you and what you bring to the table. Never let that die. Thank you so much.
She is dropping so many gems, y'all, and I'm just picking them up on the go. Listen. So, thinking about this from a psychological perspective, because the majority of people in here know that I'm a psychologist, I'm wondering for you, Keke, how
So
is
fabulous,
it,
by the way.
I appreciate that. How is it that you manage your mental health with such a busy schedule and a lot going on?
Well, I do believe in therapy. I believe in a lot of different things. I think that, yeah, I really do. I think that that stuff is all here for us to use. That's why we have people like you and people that study this stuff. There's another aspect to it. So, I mean, I'm a praying person. I do therapy. I talk to my friends and my family. I get a massage. I go get my nails done, my feet done, my hair done. There's so many elements of taking time with yourself that can help and feed or put you mentally in a good place. And so I just always try to do a checks and balance, like, oh my gosh, I've been working so much, I may need a massage, or let me go get a facial, or I gotta spend time with my sister. I ain't talked to her all week. Whatever, or you know what? This is serious. Let me check in with that therapist real quick. I need to see that lady. Whatever it is, I try to do it. So I gotta see that lady. So I gotta stay on point.
Come on, see the lady, and I am that lady.
That's right. We gotta see you.
See me. So you brought up a really great point though in your answer. So talking about like, oh, I haven't talked to that person in a minute. Let me reach out. A lot of people don't realize how relational self-care is a thing. And so how do you do that with like being embedded in Hollywood and such a busy schedule? Like, how do you still make time for your family and friends?
It's really important. It's something that I've gotten better at over the years. I feel like that was something that really affected my mental health when I was younger, because I would have to go on the road and do movies, and they could only really afford for me and my mom to go. And then we'd be leaving my dad and my three siblings behind, and I would sometimes come back home, and I would be like, "Do I know y'all still?" And that was really scary. And I think it was ultimately what I realized was a dissociative defense mechanism, because I missed them too much. I was just so sad of missing them all the time that it kind of like, I was like, and so when I came back, I was like, hey. And so that was really hard to get through. But as I got older, obviously through therapy, understanding what I was experiencing, I realized what I needed, and I implemented more opportunities for me to spend time with my family. And so, now actually my sisters and I, we live together. So my older sister, my younger sister, we all live together, and my older sister has 3 kids. And so our children grow up like as siblings,
Wow.
And so that's really, that makes me so happy, So we spend time like that, On the weekends, I have to really tell my team, I'm like, don't play with my weekends, y'all. I need those days to go out with my girls and have a drink. And I really do push for that, where sometimes y'all know how it is, where you're just so tired, but you just say, I need to have this cocktail hour. Let me just push. I'm fighting for my life to get out here and do this cocktail hour, but I got to do it because I have a life outside of my job. And then when you get there, you're a little tired, but then y'all get into the tea and then you're there,